Okay, here's part 2 of the dashboard. Just wanted to show you some of the bit more detail inside there. See some of the bracing. I'm sorry, the vision's not that great. The holes are quite, you'd say they're reasonably rough around the edges, but they're quite symmetrical. When the face of the gauge is on there, it's better to make sure these are smaller than, and then trim them down rather than make a big hole, because then you've got to start all over again. 52 mils what you want, but just make them smaller, trim, gently push these in. Now look at the face here of this plastic. It just sits very snug under the stereo, under there. So, and it's reasonably thin. I'd say that's 2 millimeters. So you don't want to be putting huge amounts of force on there. And you twist those on by hand around the back, and you've got to connect all your wiring up as well. One thing I didn't mention was in the back of the gauges you've got your bulbs. Now these Camrys come out with green lighting, green dashboard lighting. Let's see if we can get an effect there. It's quite dull. Here we go. That's the dashboard lighting. Now these, behind these VDOs, when you buy your VDOs, you'll have a pack of, it'll be red or green. Now I'm yet to see whether the green matches up well with the original gauge cluster. I might have to use model paint that hopefully will hold with high temperature, because it's a bulb of course. So the model paint will, I'll paint on a lighter shade of green. And what you do to get these globes out, just snap them out, push them off to the side a little, and there you go. That's the sheath I'm talking about that comes with your gauge. So you get a red one and a green one. They just roll on. Be careful not to rip them. Then you just press that in. Just press it in. Here we go. There we go. So, and there's your gauge. Alright, so basically what I'm having to do is screw in behind here. Story of my life. Turn that in by hand, and you turn it quite a distance too, by the way. You keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. La-di-da. Until you feel it sort of bite towards the end and bind a bit. Right, I can feel it binding now. There we go. And I'm just putting this in for a cosmetic thing, so the gentlemen police don't feel this car's a heap of junk if I haven't finished the modification in a reasonable time frame. At least the dashboard will be complete looking. Okay, gauge number 2. Now they do come with a rubber ring. I'm leaving mine off temporarily, so what you do is you put your gauge in, perhaps get your rubber ring, put it over, and then the sheath. Now the sheath has a thread closer towards the back. Okay? So the thread closer towards the rear of the gauge. So towards the engine bay. If that makes sense. Okay. Again, most of you find this reasonably easy. I've got really quite large hands, and I'm holding the camera, so I normally wouldn't do it like this. It's nice and gentle. No need to force it. Remember, you've got 2 mil plastic there. Okay. There we go. As I nip it up, turn the gauge. Come on. I look over all day. Okay. Okay, I've got to put the torch on the camera down. You can still hear me. I'm basically just nipping it up. There we go. Nice and firm-ish. Sorry about that, vision-wise. Okay. I might leave that torch there. Now I've decided to put oil temperature on the right, because that corresponds to the right hand side of the dashboard, where you got water temperature in that right hand side. So I figure I'll look right, it'll be an easy sort of thing to see the temperature of my engine. I live in Australia, In particular, I live in Western Australia. It's very, very warm here. So temperatures are a big consideration. So obviously I'll put the oil temp, oil next to oil, and in we go with the old voltmeter. Now VDO do an ammeter, but I noticed the particular one that was offered to me in the business I went today was had a metal body. It didn't have the same screw-in body, so I elected to go with the oil thing. There's also a combination turbo meter and vacuum. So it's got two little dials, and that looked like a pretty nifty thing, but I don't plan on putting a turbocharger on this engine, you know, at the moment, which is my way of saying I don't plan on doing it. So again, remember that goes towards the gauge, or the bigger gap, not the thread goes towards that way when you come into the gauge, okay? Hopefully you can see there. Okay. He's in the way. Get out of the way, man. Yeah. I know you internet people. Alright. Okay. Tighten, tighten, tighten. There's plenty of turns on it. It's a very inconvenient thing. Ah. There we go. Just try not to lose your banana or your cool, so to speak, if you can, because it is a bit finicky and a bit, you know, getting your hand in behind there. If you're feeling like you're going to lose it, lose your temper, just stop and walk away. Just do something else. Think of, you know, naked people or whatever you need to do. Just because you'll break something, you'll regret it because it'll cost you money. Believe me, I've been there. So, you know. Okay, so there the gauges in place. And basically you've got to connect wires behind them, and that's going to come in another video, whatever you call this. Alright, cheers.